Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's your boy Tyler Stratton from Stratton Sports. And heading into the Big Ten football season, I think when you look at all the teams, there's one clear-cut favorite, and that's Ohio State. They've won 3 consecutive Big Ten championships, and they've just been the dominant class of that conference. And I was looking over the teams, and I was wondering, can anyone challenge these guys? I looked at some of the teams in the East, and the winner of the West. Could they possibly beat them? We're going to talk about that and hit on right now. Can anyone in the Big Ten challenge the Buckeyes for the conference title this year? This is Stratton Sports. So when you look at the Big Ten East and you look at some teams that could possibly challenge the Buckeyes' dominance of 3 straight division crowns, you start with Michigan, and I just don't see that happening this year. First off, the schedule is absolutely brutal. They go to Minnesota, they play Wisconsin, arguably the 2 toughest teams in the West. Obviously, they got Penn State, and they have to go to Columbus to play the Buckeyes. Harbaugh is 0-5 against Ohio State. Until I see it happen, I don't think it's going to happen. The schedule's too brutal. They are going to have a quarterback competition on their hands, but I just don't see Michigan win this division with that brutal schedule and the history of Harbaugh's Wolverines. And then you look at Penn State. Penn State doesn't have to play Wisconsin. They don't have to play Minnesota, so they avoid the 2 toughest teams in the West, and they get the Buckeyes at Penn State. And look, those games have been classics between Penn State and Ohio State in the last few years. That's turned into quite the rivalry in the Big Ten. Penn State won 11 games last year. Now, Penn State returns a lot on offense. James Franklin's done a great job with that program, and because the schedule is pretty light, it could boil down to that game in Penn State. They do have to travel to Michigan, so I think if they can get that game, it could set for a winner-take-all in Happy Valley. Very exciting, but I think Penn State's the main challenger in the East. Michigan State, new head coach, hardly any returning starters. It's going to be a down rebuild year for them, and no one else in the East. Indiana, Maryland, Rutgers, can't see it happening. Penn State's the biggest challenger, but I don't think they have enough to overcome Ohio State in the juggernaut that they've built. Just a great advantage at home. I expect the Buckeyes to win the East for a 4th straight year. And when you look at the Big Ten West, can anybody challenge Ohio State in the Big Ten championship game? All Wisconsin does is win 10 games since Paul Chryst has been there, with the exception of 1 year. They didn't win double-digit games. They are a juggernaut when it comes to the Western Division. And then you have Minnesota, a team that's got 9 returning starters from a team that was very solid on offense. P.J. Fleck had this best season at Minnesota in 50 years, 60 years. Just an impressive job he is doing at Minnesota. I'm not going to break down who I think will win the West. I'm just talking about, can anyone challenge Ohio State in the Big Ten championship game? And as of right now, I just don't see it. Yeah, Wisconsin, they got their starting quarterback back, a lot on defense, but no one from the West I can see beating Ohio State and the juggernaut that they are this year in the Big Ten. Ohio State should win the Big Ten championship game for a 4th straight year. Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. I hope you did enjoy this video. Comment below. Let me know what you think about the Buckeyes' chances winning a 4th straight Big Ten championship. Hit that like, hit that subscribe if you yet to do so, and I'll be back to talk much more Big Ten in the next few days. Until then, this is your boy signing off. So long.